When it comes to sleep, most parents are doing everything right. Earlier bedtimes, blackout curtains, melatonin, white noise, and still, their child is awake for 2, sometimes 3 hours, even though they're clearly exhausted. If that's your life right now, hear this first. You are not failing at bedtime, and your child is not being difficult. What you're seeing, that exhausted but wired pattern, is a nervous system that is stuck. No routine, no supplement, no perfectly dark room can override a nervous system that is physiologically locked in a fight or flight state. This is for the parents who are completely worn out, not just from the sleepless nights, but from trying everything and still not getting answers. If you feel like you've done everything right and nothing is working, this is for you. We're going to walk through what sleep actually is doing for your child's brain and body, why the nervous system determines whether your child can sleep, how stress patterns early in life can disrupt that system, and what it actually takes to restore it. About 35% of children in the United States are getting enough sleep. Only 35%. That is more than 1 in 3 kids starting their day already running on empty. In our office, we hear the same story over and over again. Families have tried everything, the routines, the supplements, the schedules, and their child is still exhausted, still wired, still not sleeping. Because the problem is not at bedtime. The problem is in the nervous system, and it's often starting long before sleep routines were ever a factor. Sleep is not just rest. It is one of the most neurologically active and metabolically important periods of your child's entire day. During sleep, the brain is consolidating learning, strengthening synaptic connections, and organizing everything your child experienced throughout the day. Deep sleep is when growth hormone is released in its highest amounts, which means your child is literally growing while they sleep. The immune system is highly active during sleep, producing and regulating infection-fighting cells, which is why kids who don't sleep well tend to get sick more often. REM sleep is when the brain processes emotional experiences, so when sleep is disrupted, emotional regulation often breaks down. At the same time, the body is repairing tissue, balancing hormones, and restoring energy reserves. So when sleep is off, it's not just sleep that is affected, it's everything. The reason for that comes back to the nervous system. The nervous system of a child has a gas pedal and a brake pedal. The sympathetic system is the gas pedal, responsible for alertness and stress, and the parasympathetic system is the brake pedal, responsible for rest, digestion, and sleep. Sleep only happens when the brake pedal wins. The vagus nerve plays a central role here as the primary pathway that allows the body to shift from on to off. When the system is working well, your child can transition into sleep naturally. But when there is interference in the system, what we call subluxation, communication between the brain and the body becomes distorted. The brake pedal cannot engage properly and the gas pedal stays on. So your child feels completely exhausted, but their body is still in a state of physiological alertness. It is like trying to fall asleep after multiple energy drinks. Your body is tired, but your system will not allow rest. This is not a routine problem, it is a regulation problem. For many kids, this pattern starts early. Stress during pregnancy increases cortisol levels, and that cortisol crosses the placenta and influences how the baby's stress response system develops. Then we look at birth. Interventions like inductions, forceps, vacuum extraction, or C-sections can place mechanical stress on the upper cervical spine where the brainstem and vagus nerve pathways are located. Even positioning challenges like breech can add tension through that same region. Then early childhood stressors begin to layer on. Antibiotic use can disrupt the gut microbiome, which directly impacts the vagus nerve signaling. Reflux, constipation, and chronic illness all act as ongoing stress system signals to the nervous system. Over time, this can lead to dysfunction in the autonomic nervous system, and one of the earliest places that shows up is sleep. When sleep is chronically disrupted, it starts to affect every part of your child's development. Kids who are not sleeping well often look hyperactive, impulsive, and unfocused, not because they have more energy, but because they're just exhausted. Their immune system cannot rebuild properly, so they get stuck in cycles of illness, antibiotics, gut disruption, and worsening stress on the nervous system. Memory consolidation becomes less efficient, which means learning is going to be harder. Emotional regulation breaks down, which is why you see those explosive meltdowns. Over time, chronic sleep deprivation is strongly associated with anxiety and depression because the nervous system does not have the capacity to regulate the stress. So the real question becomes, how do we address the source of this problem? Neurologically focused chiropractic care is designed to restore proper nervous system function. Through specific, gentle adjustments, we work to reduce and remove subluxation so the brain and body can communicate clearly again. When that interference is reduced, the nervous system can shift between stress and the rest the way it's supposed to. The vagus nerve can activate properly and the body can access real, restorative sleep cycles. At Foundations Chiropractic, we use insight scans to objectively measure where that interference is happening, how much stress is in the system, and how well your child is adapting. We're not guessing. We are measuring and tracking real neurological change. And one of the first things families notice when that nervous system starts to regulate is that sleep improves. Then digestion improves, the immune system gets stronger, behavior stabilizes, and emotional resilience begins to build. Sleep is the foundation for everything. When your child can access deep, restorative sleep, the brain can develop, the body can grow, the immune system can rebuild, and the emotions can regulate the way they are supposed to. If your child is struggling with sleep, it's not behavioral. It's not something that they'll just grow out of. It's a nervous system that's stuck, and there's a path forward. If you're ready to get to the root cause of your child's sleep challenges, reach out to the team at Foundations Chiropractic. Click the link in our bio, send us a message, or schedule directly. Let's get your child and your whole family sleeping again.